Hello, everyone. We do this quick live stream. I'm on my way to the grocery store to pick up some items. And so let's cover this. Saudi Arabia has announced that they have an attack on their oil, right? An attack on the oil. And according to Biden's administration, they were going to request to get reserves from oil from countries like Saudi Arabia, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, they've already they're already on the digital Wuhan, right? They're already on the digital Wuhan. So that's no secret to the woke people or to the people that's keeping um, up with the economy. I had someone to make a comment that they knew about this last week about the Russia, China, Saudi connection, the digital Wuhan. And my thing is, okay, knowledge without any corresponding action is powerless. Let me say that again. Knowledge without any corresponding action is powerless. And to have an understanding without knowledge is costly. Let me say that again. Knowledge without any corresponding action is powerless. And to have an understanding without knowledge is costly. I'm going to break that down, what that means. Hello, Dr. Forms. Hello, hello, hello. And so just to be the smartest person in the room right now and not being able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together is not going to help you. To be able to be the smartest person at the barbershop, at the beautician, in the church meetings in the hallway is not going to help you if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle together. If you cannot see that cryptocurrency is going to replace physical cash for all countries, it makes it what's the point? What's the point of it? That's why, according to Robert Kiyosaki, A students work for B students, and we got Bitcoin at 42,000. This is why A students work for C students. You're the smartest person, you know what's going on, but you're not preparing in any type of way. And you're not ahead of the curve as we are experiencing the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever seen. And in order to do so, the dollar must die out. It must lose its world reserve status. It will still be, of course, the dominant used currency for the United States, but not for the world. Not for the world. All of these people that know all of this history about the history of money and in 1970s, it was this person who convinced President Nixon to remove the dollar out the gold standard. It was not a person that convinced President Nixon. It was Spain. Spain was on their way to the United States on warships. Say, you can take this worthless cash, give us our money, give us our real gold. And Nixon had to make a change swiftly, right? Swiftly. He had to do that before they arrived in the States with their warships. And if you go back and listen to that video in 1971, President Nixon said, temporary. We will temporarily cancel the ability for other countries to convert our dollars back into gold to retrieve their gold. That was supposed to be a temporary move. So now Saudi Arabia has a quote unquote oil crisis, right? Quote unquote oil crisis. They have some type of attack. And I listened to 45 Trump speak on a news interview, and he was like, it makes no sense. United States have natural resources, and we're not using it, right? Well, it makes perfect sense when it's politics, right? It makes perfect sense. It's a part of the plan. It's a part of the agenda. United States have been drilling all these years. What's another year or two going to hurt the economy? But what it's going to do is hurt the consumer's pocket. That's about all I have to say about that, right? I can't really read the comments. I have some really, really dark shades on anyway. Um, and I'm driving, but I'm about to stop, so I'll read the comments later. What's up? I see someone says, what's up, Jordan? I do see that. Okay, I'm just saying hello. Really no comments. Hello. Thank you all for coming in, Edward and Frugal Life. Thank you all for coming in and speaking. The second part of this live stream I want to cover is someone sent a message that $280,000 in San Diego, California is not enough, right? It's just not enough to live off of for the cost of living, for the taxes that Californians are taxed, and the pricing of, their rent or apartments or, condo, whatever they're doing, renting or buying. Housing prices has increased dramatically over the past year, as high as 25 to 30, 35% in some areas, right? And so I want to cover the difference between Netflow and Cashflow. Because if you're listening to this and you are in a high tax state like California or New York and high cost of living, because these will be the new AI technology states for this cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence movement that's coming in. So if you're like 280,000, even in those states, you probably can't still not afford to live there, right? The new Silicon Valley in California is coming, and the difference between net flow and cash flow is for people that get a paycheck, for example, what you bring home is your net. What you bring home is your net pay. Someone in the home based business asked me this morning. They sent me a message and they asked me, "Do I have to start a home based business to get the instant pay raise out of my paycheck?" They already enrolled with MWR, which is abbreviated for Making Wealth Real. And I'm like, no, when you enroll for $129, you became a business partner with the home-based business. MWR is the home-based business. And this is why you get the instant pay raise, because you join MWR for $129, which is a home-based business corporation. And now, as a partnership with that corporation, they have experts that analyze your paycheck to see how much you qualify for an increase out of your paycheck, because you are getting taxed from your gross and your take home pay is your net. And so with a home based business, you can attack your federal taxes by having a home based business entity, which means you bring home more money out of your paycheck. I listened to Kim Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki's wife, the Robert Kiyosaki is the best-selling author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And Kim Kiyosaki, his wife, has a book called Rich Woman. Rich Woman. And in that book, Rich Woman, she talked about her first real estate investment was a condo, and her cash flow a month was $25, a positive cash flow. Now, let me show you the different mindset between the rich and the poor. A poor person or a person that's lacking financial education will look at, and this is, my business partners do not have like $25, but let's just say they virtually the minimum, the lowest any person tell me they've qualified for was $300, right? It's $300 instant increase out of their paycheck. And then a married couple, $1,400 instant pay raise. It's the highest I've heard on my team. And the lowest I've heard was $300 more out of their paycheck. And if you get paid bi-weekly, for example, that's $600 a month. But Kim Kiyosaki talked about that she invested in a condo that cost her thousands of dollars, right? And her cash flow, positive cash flow, is $25. So when you get into real estate, you understand the language of being cash flow positive. Especially if you get an opportunity to position yourself for that for $129, right? And not having to put thousands into a real estate deal. But people without a financial education, if that applies to them, they say, "Why I invest?" No, they'll say I spent. They won't say invested, right? Investing means you get to recoup and get that money back. Their language is always spend, right? That's all they know, spend. They don't know the investment language, because an investment means you even get that money back in taxes. So they only know spend. I spent $129, and this is just for an example. No one has told me this has happened to them, but this is just for teaching purposes. And I only got $25 extra out of my paycheck. But they're not looking at that through this business model, you can get your bills lowered as well, that you're paying, because you instantly get changed from an employee to being taxed and treated by the Fed as an entrepreneur instantaneously for $129. That's number one. And so they don't look at more cash flow can be increased from their bills. Again, I've never known anyone to get $25, but let's say you did. And then, because they don't have financial education, they don't realize at the end of the year, you get thousands of back. Now, if I was in a situation where I know gas prices is about to increase at least $2 to $3 more for regular, I would definitely take action fast to see how much money I'm getting. I can get more out of my paycheck. I mean, what else do you have? You can't go to your supervisor and tell me you want a raise. You work more hours, you tax more. The more money you make, the more they take. So it's not even in, you got essential workers right now that's burnt out because they're working too many hours, too much overtime, and they still can't afford the cost of living. So when I speak to a person in California who understands or realizes that $280,000 is not enough, and they can get more money out of their taxes, it's a no-brainer. But when you speak to people more in the South that's making maybe $60,000 to $80,000 a year, those are usually the one that's skeptical, because for some reason they think that that's a good income. And they're going to realize real quick, as this great reset happens, that there's not going to be enough in the South either. As 70% of Americans' annual income right now is $36,000 a year. And most people think because they don't want change or desire change, that change is not going to happen. Change is here whether you want it, prepare for it, or believe it or not. And then some people think that they're not supposed to take any responsibility, that maybe a rapture will happen, or they can vaguely use the word God and God is returning. It always amazes me. Nobody talks about the rapture until the economy gets bad, right? Nobody's thinking about a return of God when Trump was pumping the stock markets and the economy and the gas was $1. Oh God, just hold on. We're doing good on earth right now. The economy's good. You don't have to come back now. See, nobody thinks about rapture then. They only thinks about it. And that's why I tell people it's hell on earth if you don't know how to manage your money, because that aligns with the Bible. Matthew 25:14. The man who, he didn't even spend his money. He just dug a hole in the ground and kept what he had. He at least had a mindset to save. And he was still sentenced to hell on earth. He was called wicked and evil. And so people, when you don't have a mindset to grow your net flow, you will never reach the next level, which is to increase your cash flow. There are a lot of small businesses right now, small business owners, who their business services are no longer needed. It's not futuristic. People are not going to buy the products or services. It's antiquated and outdated. And you need a business model that people is going to need. Well, what better business model can someone have other than a home-based business, number one, because it's the only business structure that gives you 475 tax deduction. That's number one. The only one. People are saying, I'm taking my gig and I'm changed to the LLC. Okay, that's better. Now you're not on a job, ON, but you own a job. A little bit better for bragging rights, but it's not better for your cash flow. It's not better for your cash flow, because what if technology and machines can do your gig better than you? They have an automated app out right now for self-credit repair. So tax experts, credit repair experts, they're not going to be on demand. But what will always be on demand, because the tax laws will not change, it's a home-based business. And you're going to get more advantages in a home-based business than any other business structure, because 90% of politicians have home-based structured businesses. Now, you may say, well, Queen, I have a home-based business. Yeah, but you don't understand all the tax deduction. You don't know 200 out of 475. So you have an understanding, but you don't have knowledge. And so wouldn't it be smart to just invest $129 and get that knowledge? Because the home-based business that I'm talking to you all about, it's the only home-based business that I know of that will also position you to get more money out of the paycheck, where they're not pushing you products to sell. So what's it going to be, people? You're going to sit back and see if I'm right. If we're going to see $7 for regular gas in the places that it's $3 now by June, you're going to wait till more of your paycheck is eaten up by inflation and the gas and grocery prices. There's several reasons why people make changes in life, right? They can be like a tea bag that only can produce when it's in hot water. People can change because of pain, because of poverty, because of punishment, or they can change because they simply want pleasure and prosperity and peace, right? Edward says right now in California, gas is $9 a gallon. And is that for regular? Probably for super, right? Premium. So if you're in California, you're watching me like, please tell me why you won't invest $129 to get your paycheck up. It is impossible to me. And I tell people this with all sincereness. You don't, it's not a option to want a home-based business at this point. You need one. You're on the ropes. You're on the ropes. Either you come out swinging, or you can just take your punches on the rope, and you can get a knockout. You can get a knockout, or you can come out the rope swinging. Right? Stacia says I invested, and I uploaded this on my YouTube channel. Watch it. It's like 3 minutes, but it's my mentor in the home-based business, and he's talking about that when you talk about the home-based business to wealthy people, they understand it immediately. It's no, I don't understand the business. What does it do? When you tell the wealthy people, oh, I'm leveraging 475 tax deductions so I can keep more of my money that I'm earning. Okay, that makes sense because that's what wealthy people do. When you tell wealthy people that then you take that money and invest it so your money can make more money, and there's 60% of the money that you have earning, that you have investing and not spending. A wealthy person understand that language. It's only people that don't want to level up financially that's like, okay, I'm confused now. What does the $129 do again? Oh my God. Just add you 475 tax deductions. Just position you for an instant pay raise out of your paycheck within 24 hours. It just positions you to get thousands of back of taxes at the end of the year, because now you're under the umbrella and auspice of a home-based business organization. Now you're in the same tax bracket as an entrepreneur and not an employee. Now you take that money and you pay off bad debt, consumer debt that's taking money out of your pocket, and you invest it in assets so you can beat inflation. See, this conversation is not hard to have with people that understand the language of money. It's only the people that don't understand the language of money that's scratching their head like, okay, now what this do again? I only want people that understand the language of money to text that on the screen. That's it. If you understand everything I just said, and don't tell me, well, Queen, maybe you should have said overstand. No, it's levels to this. You can't stand over something until you realize what's under. The underlying reason why you're doing something. See, you're trying to think on a whole nother level, but you're not executing on the level you're on. You're seeming smart, but your actions are showing that you still have a poverty mentality and that you're poor. Because poor people think everything, according to Jack Ma, passing over opportunities repeatedly. They think anything that can help them financially is a scam, except the fact that they're struggling financially. They don't think that's a scam. They think that should be their reality. And if you don't do anything, you're right. Hey, you all, let me get in the grocery store. I'm picking up something for my daughter. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Next to that subscribe button is a bell. Hit that bell to notify you whenever I'm live. And you all make sure you make it. That's right. Let's understand, right? Because if people understand, you'll understand what's underground, and you'll have more investments in gold, silver, platinum, palladium, uranium, copper, diamonds, pearls. If you understand what's underground, you'll be rich, right? Hey, I'm signing out, you all. Be safe, be blessed. Queen out.